Hi guys, I'm Shmee, hello and welcome back to the channel where it is finally the day to go and collect my McLaren Senna. All of the repair works are now complete. A few days after the shakedown, it's now been back to Chartwell's where we're going to be going to collect it today. Everything has been signed off, and to go and pick it up in style, we're of course taking, as promised, the AMG G63 armed with the trailer from Turbo Transport. We need to get it hooked up, head up the motorways, a couple of hours to go pick up the Senna, and then load it up behind the G to bring it back home to the garage. This has been long awaited, almost a second Christmas in a row collecting the Senna. I can't wait to get it back home. Let's hop on board after we've got it hooked up and get up there to go and get my McLaren Senna back. I can imagine you might be wondering, why am I not going to be driving the Senna back home, especially given that I haven't been behind the wheel for around about 6 months now, and I'll explain the repair process in a bit more detail when we get up to Chartwell's. But to keep a long story short, it is over 100 miles to get it back. Today's weather is pretty grimy, wintertime here after all, and given the incident happened while just going about a gentle cruise down the motorway, I don't really fancy taking any chances. We will get it safely back home, and to do so we will hook up the G to the trailer. Now you might be wondering, why not an open trailer, given that will look especially cool with the matched colours of the G63 and the Senna. Remember, this is topaz skinned to be a perfect match to the colours of the Senna itself. Well, to be quite honest, that's how grimy it gets on the front of the trailer in just a couple of days. Therefore, that would all be over the front of the Senna if you left it open. Obviously, it's going to be thrown up from the tyres at the back. So this is why we have Tony joining us with his trailer today. So I actually need to hop on board, get this around to the front, get it lined up, and then we will talk a little bit more about the towing process. A couple of questions from the last time that I did this that a few of you were wondering when we went to collect the AMG GT R Pro, but it's a bit chilly. I'm very excited to get this done. Let's get it hooked up and then go from there. That is very helpful, having the rear view camera looking down towards the towing eye, but let's get this turned off for the moment. Jump on out, and as always, I'm gonna have some help from Tony today. We will get it hooked on up. How you doing, Tony?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
All good, thank you very much for your help. Right, we need to do this again, and I know everyone's going to complain that I'm not doing it, but you know exactly what's going on, and I don't want to mess up your trailer. But we do have the towing ball, it is greased, this basically goes down, you lock up the wheel, it's all a bit of a process, you hook up the electronics just under here. One thing that I did do actually coming round to the very back is, of course, you need to make sure you have the correct number plate, the number plate in this case matching with the G-Wagon. If you don't have that matching, that's a bit of a problem here in the UK. Obviously in Europe and other places you have a different plate actually on the trailer, but here that's what you've got to do. A few people asked about door mirrors. There is actually a calculation to use to work out whether you need extended door mirrors, which is all about how far down the trailer you can see. So 20 meters back behind the driver, you need to be able to see 4 meters out from the trailer, which with this, given quite how wide it is, you can actually do. So you don't need to put extended door mirrors on the G to pull a trailer like this. A caravan might be a little bit wider. Anyway, I'm short on breath. It is very cold. We will jump on board and get on the road. This is all hooked up. We've checked everything, all the lights and the electronics, and given I drove when we went to get the GT R Pro. Tony, you up for driving this time?
Yeah.
Do it?
Yeah.
Take the key. Let's jump on board then. It is time to go get the Senna. Actually, we need to get this screen plugged in quickly as well first. At the back here, there is a camera at the back of the trailer, and that links up to this screen so we can see what is going on behind us. So I need to hook in the cigarette charger socket. Nice and easy. Oh, G-Wagon problems. You've got to give the door a good slam. Yeah, there we go. Oh, no, it's in here. Stuff everywhere going on right now. Yeah, just making life difficult. Okay, we're in. Cool, cool. Yes. Whoa. I'm looking forward to your opinions on this, given obviously it's a bit of a powerful beast to use for towing. But the trailer is behind us, and the road is beckoning. Look at this, the random coincidence. We have a Lamborghini Huracan Performante Spider and an Urban SVR. Guys, it's going fast as well. Out for the winter drive. Very cool, very cool. All right, time to roll on out then. Not your first time driving the G-Wagon.
Nope.
But maybe I'm putting pressure on you by pointing a camera straight at you in the first time in this one.
I tell you what though, it's a very, very smooth drive.
It pulls away effortlessly, doesn't it? This car obviously has the Rentec upgrades, so we've got the 4-litre twin-turbo V8 up front, but it's making about 800 horsepower and around about, well, just shy of 1,000 Newton meters of torque, so plenty of pull.
A lot of noisier as well.
Yeah, a very grumbly. In fact, we can press the exhaust on button and make it even louder.
Oh, lovely.
We're still in comfort mode. Comfort mode, I guess, is good for towing rather than going a bit crazy.
I've just got to say as well, the visibility as well from both sides from the mirrors is just perfect.
It is, isn't it? You can see all the way like down past down to the pavement.
And then
this is the passenger side, of course.
We've got the rear view camera. That's just an added bonus, which I fitted myself. So I want a G-Wagon.
G-Wagon for Christmas. Well, we'll enjoy today's drive. We have got a grand total of 126 miles from here. We've met at services to get to where the Senna awaits. Well, a couple of hours later, we're pulling into a services. We're a little bit low on fuel, not too much to report on, by the way, other than we're going to grab some food before we then swap over, I guess, and I'm going to take the wheel. And then it won't be too long from then until we get to where we're actually going. Just had a quick bite to eat. Now, my first bit of driving is going to be from here to there, just to go and get some fuel into the car before we continue, so that's not exactly going to be the hardest thing, although we do have to do a little bit of reversing. Fortunately, we've got lots of space. So onwards, and let's see how all of this goes. Let's start it up. Then we need to turn the lights on because of the way the trailer is set. Let's get that screen on as well. But all pretty simple and plain sailing. So straight back at the wheel, into reverse. Obviously the reversing camera isn't a whole lot of help here. The 360 floor plan still works, but I need to go a little bit that way to get the opposite kind of lock on the trailer. Absolutely no stress. That should be enough to drive just like that. Full tank of fuel, but the thing I've got to watch out for now is not hitting the fuel pump with the trailer. So what you've got to do, and I just popped it into individual, we should definitely have it in comfort, is basically go completely straight, slowly and carefully, always slowly and carefully, until the trailer is clear, and then we can turn, and we're good. And we haven't hit anything. Magic. That's kind of cool. We have performance parts on the M4. Anyways, right, out we go, onto the motorway. Not too long to go now, and then we are going to be there to see the car. It's like a new car day. I tell you what, I am going to pop the car though into the exhaust mode on, just make it a little bit noisier as we pull away. And this at the moment, of course, is an empty trailer, which I incorrectly stated last time, and it's much heavier than I said. It's over a ton for the trailer. It's going to be much, much heavier when it's got a McLaren Senna on board. Now, one thing you have to think about is that you do have lower speed limits when you are towing with a trailer. So 60 miles an hour on a dual carriageway or a motorway instead of 70, which means the journey takes a little bit longer, and obviously you can't go kind of flat out just because, think about it, there's a trailer behind, but easy drive, shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. And then yeah, we'll go pick it up. We are queuing in this traffic jam because on the left there is a shopping centre. Obviously everybody doing their Christmas shopping, which means it's taking us a little bit longer to go and do our kind of Christmas shopping, which of course in this case is a case of picking up the Senna, and it might have a cheeky bow on the top. It had to be done. Anyway, it's just around here, not far to go, and I'll explain why we're at Chartwell's. Where we are at the moment actually is right in front of Pride Park. This is the Derby County Football Stadium. It's kind of a cool place. So Chartwell's, where we're actually going, well, they're a super brand body shop. They're now working with McLaren. They've actually had McLaren engineers up here working on my car. So it's the last kind of mile to get there. We've been obviously a little bit private about where the car is while it's been, you know, sitting here, because obviously for privacy, for the work that's been done and all of that side of things. But not too far to go. We now have the car back in noisy mode. And to be honest, I can't wait to actually get there. I know I've said that a few times right now, but you can imagine it's been a long old wait. It's Christmas time. It's time now to pick up the Senna, get it loaded up, and get it back home. And here we are then. So, just a quick one, because it's fun while we're here. Towing vehicle should not sound that epic. Anyway, let me hop on out quickly, and then we'll go straight inside where the car is awaiting. That's really cool. Here we are at Chartwell's then. So like I said, I've been here a few times to see the car and get updates, and it's right there undercover inside their showroom. Let's go straight on in then and get those covers pulled back. And here we are then, about ready to pull back the covers, also armed with the bow from the original collection day at the McLaren factory. But just before we take a look at this all finished, back here, that 458 Speciale is actually a simulator with VR headsets. The engine is replaced with a computer. There's a leaderboard. We might check that out in a moment as well. We will pull back the covers. I'll need to take the bow off first, but I think it's probably now set. Wearing the number plate, SH12 MEE, ready to be back, taken out and taken back home. Let's get this cover removed then. First thing, I need to remove this. And here we go then. in all of its glory, now fully cleaned up. Of course, I saw and went on board the car for the shakedown, but now all finished with paint protection film fully installed at Topaz, all reworked here by the team, and what an amazing job. You would have no idea, well in fact it is completely new, it is completely factory perfect in every way. This is looking so incredible, and really and truly, I can't wait to take that seat in a moment. Yeah. It's good to have this back. And into life, we'll get the car outside, but there is actually something else to show you guys. One other thing about today over here. We're going to come and take a look at these in more detail, but these are the original parts that have all been removed. The quarter panel, the door, some of the internal pieces, the rear spoiler, the wheel arch cover. This piece at the back is particularly lovely. The Senna is going outside, which means fun to hear the valve opening and closing, which means we are about to have, there we go, the wing pivoting. We're about to have these two side by side in the light drizzle, unfortunately. But this is, yeah, this is cool. We'll get this parked up right alongside, get a few quick snaps. Unfortunately, the rain is, well, not something we can dictate and control today. That is epic. Finally, the G-Wagon with a trailer, with the Senna alongside. That is truly fantastic. What a view. That was what I was going for. That's what we've been working on for a long time, and now it has finally happened. Okay, so it's pouring with rain. We'll get that moved forwards a touch, so that we've got enough room to load up at the back. This weather has just become a complete and utter disaster. Not appropriate in the slightest, but we'll get enough space and then get that inside, and later on I'll have to get it washed up, because look at this, it's getting puddles very quickly. Not ideal. This weather is absolutely horrible. In fact, I'm going to come and stand inside the trailer. We have an enclosed trailer, and I'm just going to say a massive thanks to this man. Tony, you are the MVP. Thank you for your help today.
You're very welcome.
Just the knowledge and everything. His link's down below. Please do go and give Tony a follow. Yes, this weather, driving a car like that, it's got brand new Trofeo R rear tyres. Those are the worst possible combination for this kind of weather. And yeah, we probably need to get this tilted and pivoted down, so I'm gonna run back out. Gosh, this is absolutely disgusting. And the main reason why I didn't want to drive that car today. We will save the driving for better times. But yeah, this is a miserable afternoon. The guys are gonna get it loaded up. You take on the mid-engine cars backwards so that you have the weight more over the central axle towards, of course, the towing hitch. And talking about towing hitches, this is something that everybody mentioned on my first video. I think mostly people in the US, about how technically small the towing hitch is, but of course it is rated for this kind of weight. That is the kind of method we use in Europe. And also there was a lot of discussion about chains. In the US you have to use chains with a trailer, but of course the problem with chains is that if something happens to the trailer, it's going to destroy the car that is pulling it, because it will literally flip you over or completely turn it over. We have this emergency cable, which if that should break off for any reason, locks on the brakes of this, which stops the trailer and doesn't end up hurting the occupants of the car. That's basically, this is the European system. It's different regions, different systems. Anyway, this is, yeah, being loaded back on, and I mean, this has just got really grim. What an unpleasant end to the afternoon. It's great to have this back. I'm very excited about the Senna being back, but not very excited about the conditions under which we are loading it. Let's have a better look at some of this then. While Tony is enduring the rain outside, I can't say thank you enough to him for that, but let me show you all of the parts that have come off the car and why. And I suppose starting with the wheel, you will spot just there where it had that nick. Now, given the nature of the wheels, that actually wasn't that expensive to replace, but of course it needed to be changed, as did both rear tyres. Now, the rear quarter panel, or fender as it is out in the US, is completely cracked and destroyed. This is where the wheel, the front left wheel from the truck, was basically rotating and did this damage, mostly to the PPF, so it looks worse than it actually is. But of course, with a couple of cracks and bad bits of damage, especially down there as well, that was a no-go. The door again has that crack. Now, the interesting thing with the door is that it's actually 3 different colours, all on one piece of carbon fibre. You've got the gloss black over the pillars, you've obviously got the cerulean blue, and you've got that tinted satin blue carbon. It's all one piece. It looks like it's a separate side sill, but that's all one main part. Now the wing, this was unfortunate, just got a small little nick here, which cracked it, and because of that, we had to replace the entirety of the wing, the end plate as well, which we have just here. Took a bit of a beating too, so you can see actually that's gone right the way through the blue, but these are all really cool parts. Then the internal piece, I think just a small bit of damage just to that, so it was changed. The side panel, this is a cool one. Inside, this got slightly scratched by the glass, so this is the side sill that obviously you step over to climb in. So that's quite a cool piece to still have. It looks really smart as well. And then obviously back here, we've also got the inner liner from the rear wheel arch, which I think again has a few small bits of damage to it. So all of this is potentially going to end up in the man cave. Obviously I've got to work out how to store it, transport it, and what I'm going to do with it, but how cool is it to have all of these pieces? A huge thanks actually goes to my insurance company that made that possible, because normally that wouldn't be at all, and they've done a huge favour to me by allowing me to keep some of these as kind of a memento and to do, well, potentially something cool. If anybody has any ideas for artworks or things that we can do with them, let me know. I think the wheel needs to become a coffee table. I think some of these parts could hang, maybe the wing could be hung up on the wall. Let's see. Ideas? Do let me know what you think. It's all strapped down. Fortunately, the rain has slightly backed out. We'll get this closed up and get these side doors closed on it as well. Actually, given I've got one hand on the camera, I should probably let you do that, thank you. We've actually also loaded up the G. So let me show you very quickly what we've got going on in here. After all, the practical car. In the back, we have certain bits and pieces. You can just about see the wing. We've got the wheel down there. We've got a few of the smaller bits as well, like I said, all back here to head on back towards London. We're going to be leaving the bigger bits and come and get those at a later date. But yeah, this weather wasn't ideal, was it?
No. Do you want to drive first?
Yeah, I think if that's all right, I'm going to take the wheel because that will be a good bit of fun. We'll go inside and say our goodbyes to the guys, and then we'll get the journey continued. I've just had a small distraction and had a go with this. So what we're looking at is the 458 simulator. It's got a slightly deceptive Speciale stripe, but basically this was the shell of a car that has been completely kind of stripped out. Inside, you've got two playing consoles, you've got the VR headsets. Around the back, well, there's kind of an engine, but actually the computers are hidden under here. Now the cool thing is, I've just been driving a 488 GT3 around Monza, and check this out. I came in second on their lap time, 458simulator.com. That was really good fun, actually. That was really cool. Anyway, it is dark outside, but I think it is time for us to get back on the roads and head down south. We are on the move then. So farewell to Chartwell. A massive thanks to them for all of their work working with McLaren. The noise of the doors locking, and now we are pulling the Senna in the trailer behind. This is going to be a slow, cautious, careful drive back towards London. We've got, well, 2 hours 44 of normal driving. It will be about 3 hours in reality, if not more. I think add a little bit more with some traffic as well. But yeah, here we are in the G63, almost effortlessly pulling the trailer behind that has the Senna in it. I've swapped to the passenger seat. Tony is currently at the wheel, but look at this. Talk about bad weather. This would be horrendous in the Senna. Imagine, could you imagine driving in this weather in the Senna?
I wouldn't want to be driving.
On triple AOR tyres. I mean, we're going slowly, we're going 40 miles an hour. But you'd be going like, what, 5 in the Senna in this? I mean, this is absolutely insane. Winter, and this is why we're trailering it home. And now, thankfully, as we arrive back in London, it isn't actually raining at the moment, so unloading is fortunately not going to be too horrendous. We don't have too far to go now to get to the storage to get the Senna out. The big question then, is it still here? We certainly hope so. It hasn't moved. It is fully strapped down. Mission success. We are back home with the Senna, ready now to get it unloaded, and then I will have the fun, I guess, of jumping in to maneuver it. I have not actually yet driven it, but I will take it back into the garage. Still a little bit wet. I wonder if I'm going to need to get it washed. We shall see. But anyway, I cannot wait for this and to drive it properly. Back inside then, where we have some of the other cars, I'm going to do a bit of a reshuffle because I want to put the Senna right where the Lusso is to be alongside the GT, to have the Senna and the GT back together, which means I need to move this. I've just taken off the cover, also unplugged the trickle charger, because this car is actually going to get used a little bit more over the coming days, so the plan is to take it on out. But before we get that far, in the meantime, we are going to get a delightful cold start from the Ferrari GTC4 Lusso. Oh, we don't want the radio on, let's just turn that off very quickly and turn it around so you can take a listen to this coming into life. Oh yes! That always sounds so good, it's also very loud. There we go, a bit chilly down here, but yes. I'll let that warm up and then move it out, get the Senna next to the GT. The Senna is now in place, and I'm going to just shut off the Lusso for a moment because, of course, this is currently idling away. I think it's warmed up and hopefully all good with the battery. All right, no more V12, much quieter. And of course, this means we now have the GT and the Senna together again, reunited. The last time was, of course, the night before the incident in question. Since then, the GT has been all the way around the USA, and the Senna has not been all that far. Quite a difference in terms of the number of miles they have done, but these two, it was literally about this time last year, of course, Christmas time, when they made it here together to the garage for the first time. It feels like that time all over again. I still can't believe this. What a crazy day to pick that up and finally to use the G63 to do so, which of course is now down at this end of the lineup where we have the G63 and all of these. Massive, massive pinch dream moment having them all together here, or at least all the cars that are here. Of course, missing, we have the Supra and the two Focus RSs, the Heritage and the Red. The LT just tucked away under the cover up here at the moment. Lots of questions about when I'm going to drive this again. Soon, I promise you, it will be coming out. But for the moment, if I come all the way back, watching out for what's behind me, we have this line of cars. Of course, some neighbours alongside. But yeah, this is a dream. This is a dream. The track beast. In fact, I've accidentally done this. Track car, track car, track car, track car, track car, flanked by the all-wheel drive winter weather cars. And yeah, mega. Having this back, well, I need to plug it into the trickle charger now, which it's been on the entire time it has been at Chartwell's, and obviously cover it back up, which I kept here because the cover wasn't in the car at the time. The trickle charger conveniently was in the car when it actually happened. So fortunately they had that the entire time it was there with them. Now I'm sure many of you are wondering about the repair in general. Like I've said in some of the videos where I've shown it along the way, new factory parts that had to be manufactured. Of course, they had to go through the full paint process. Paint came from MSO, from McLaren directly. In fact, much of the work was actually done by McLaren engineers alongside the Chartwell's team. They came up to where the car was to work on it. For example, installation of the door, calibration, all of that kind of thing. It's been backwards and forwards a little bit to the dealer and then back to have various things done. It also had some warranty recalls while it was there, a big thing to do with, I think, the wiring loom, electronics, that kind of thing that was actually done to the car while they had it in. But basically, I promise you, you could not tell that anything had ever been done to this. It has been signed off by the factory. We saw the shakedown. It is completely perfect as it would come out of the factory with new factory parts, all done properly, as we had to do, considering the type of car, the value of the car, and how special it is. But having it back, epic, absolutely epic. So a huge thanks to Tony for joining me, for showing me the ropes, and for doing lots of the dirty work as well, of course, to get the car loaded up, to get it strapped down. And now, I mean, just thanks to everyone who got this car back on the road. I can't thank the team enough for keeping me so well updated. In fact, Chartwell's experience was absolutely top-notch, honestly, the way they looked after this car, and I asked them not to rush. If you're wondering why it took so long, I basically said, please do it properly, do it correct, don't worry about getting it back quickly. I'm going to the USA with the Ford GT, no rush. So the diagnosis, the manufacturing of the new parts, the paintwork, the installation, the shakedown, that's basically how long it takes if you want to do a proper job. And that is what has been done. The car is now back home, and it's not going to be too long, I hope, until the Schmeemobiles have a new home as well. For today, I thank you very much for watching. As always, guys, I appreciate your support an awful lot. That's it for this time. Plenty more Senna adventures to come very soon. Cheers!